Thank you for tuning into the Awakening once again. I am the lovely Shontal, and I have my wonderful co-host, Mr. Reggie Whitley. Thank you for coming on the Awakening once again,
Mm-hmm.
with your collaboration. Uh, y'all, I've been off, so y'all have to constantly keep me in prayer, because just keep me in prayer. That's all I can say. So today we're gonna talk about something that's been weighing heavy on me, only because I have came to the conclusion that I got a major issue. Reggie, do you want to know what my major issue is?
You can tell me one of the many.
Okay. I can tell you when.
One of the many.
I don't have mentee. I'm working. I'm actually learning to give it over to the Lord now.
Ah,
More better than
yeah.
yeah. Cause your girl been trying to fight off her own demons and that ain't working for me. So I got to release
God
some of
can't
this
do it. It
stuff.
just won't get done. Dang.
It won't. It won't. So one of the things that I have came to the conclusion is that when do I feel successful within myself as a person? What am I doing? And I thought about it when I got money. Is that an issue? That's a major issue. And so for me, I just feel like you shouldn't feel successful because of your pocketbook. Is that a sign of selfishness, of not being humble? Do you think?
Selfishness? No. Pride? Maybe.
Pride? Yeah. So I need some help and I need to, let's
Greed.
have a discussion on it. Huh?
I wanted to throw greed in there too. Maybe
Are
greed.
you serious? You think greed got something to do with it? Only because I feel like if when people are, and I'm gonna say this, money, the love of money. It's not that I love the money. It's like I feel like I can't move in a way that I want to move successfully without it. So one of the things that I have came to terms with is be rejoiceful over little, and he will make you ruler over many. And I think a lot of us
Minty.
leave that out.
Minty.
Minty. I mean just minty. Because I'm tending to leave that out. And I wanted to be an encouragement to somebody that keep throwing stuff off because what they don't have. And like I said, I came to the conclusion that it's one of my issues. I'm not feeling successful because what I don't have and not knowing that I have a lot in me that can make me successful. Do you feel that?
Say that one more
Does it,
time, please.
I feel that it's not what I have financially that makes me successful. I'm coming to that conclusion. It's what's in me that makes me successful.
Hmm, that makes sense.
That makes sense. And so I want us to be encouragement to a lot of people because one of my demons is procrastination. That's a bad sucker. He don't play. And I tend to throw things off a lot because either it's I don't have the money and the finance to put in, not knowing that I can look up other strategy ways, other things to build my own empire, build my own thing. And I think for the most part, that's what gets me. And so help me, Reggie. Help me.
Hmm.
Shed some light on it because you said something that really made me just really think about it. Pride. Is pride that bad when it comes to money and success?
Yeah, because hi everyone. I don't know why I felt the need to speak.
He was finna let me have it too, y'all.
I don't think I
Anytime,
was. It just
anytime he
came on
paused
me
like
to
that,
speak to
he
the
just
people.
yeah. Anytime if he paused like that, that means he got a word. He got a word in his belly.
You, don't make me fall out on here now. You got talent. Uh, so, I think one of the biggest, when you look at so much, so I mean, you can literally look at And I know people, I think this is maybe my second time. I think I may have talked about pride on the last show or a few shows ago or something. Um, and people will probably say that that's all I talk about, but it's not. And people will probably say, well, he just think pride go at everything. I don't think it goes with everything, but I know when you look at a whole lot of stuff, the root of it, a lot of the times is pride. A lot of people fall short because of pride. A lot of people don't get help because
Deliberate.
of pride. A lot of people don't get delivered because of pride. A lot of people don't go out and try new things because of pride. You know, pride is the root of a lot of stuff. And so I think because you know that it doesn't take much when you allow it. It doesn't take much when you don't build yourself up. It doesn't take much to let pride slip in, and pride causes us to fall and fail every time. And so all you need is just a little bit. You know, if I have the money and it gives you a sense of pride, if you don't work on being sober, if you don't work on being happy and satisfied, you know, so many people, they look for outward things to satisfy them. They feel like money or houses, you know, some people say this one thing would just make my life so, if I got a new car, it'll
Yeah.
just make my life so much better. But how so? When you really look at your issues, it a new car might be what you need, but it's not gonna hit. So it also goes side by side with greed, um, because you're sometimes people use greed because they want, and then when you get what you want out of greed, when you get it, you become prideful because I got it now. Oh, you thought I
Yeah.
was down, you thought I didn't have, you thought I couldn't do, and a lot of the times, you know, and I don't know your situation. But for some others, they want to do good stuff. You know, they want to take their children on trips. They want to um, do whatever they want to do. And so now that they have gotten the money, instead of putting the glory on God, they take the glory themselves and they become proud. But look what your mama was able to do, huh? Look where your dad was able to take you.
Mm.
Look what your wife. Look what I got for my wife. Look what I got for my, and it's rooted in pride. You know, I have people that be over the years have tried to show me I took my wife out to dinner or I bought my husband this whatever. Here's how much it costs. And I literally don't want to see it because I know me looking at how much it costs or me looking at what you've done is feeding your ego and it's boosting your
Mm.
uh,
Mm.
so yeah, and when you put so much on what you have, if you lose it, which if you put pride on it, you probably will lose it. But if you put so much on what you have, if you were to lose it, then of course, what have you to be proud of? Because you've lost it. And you've lost it probably because you weren't a good steward, and you weren't a good steward probably because you got it through greed. So
Ouch. So, and I try to deal with myself. I tried to deal with my own self accordingly. And like I said, that didn't work. I kept falling. Like constantly falling. And I had and one of the things, like I said, it was the financial aspect part of it. And then it was, you know, does money really make you feel is it the it's pride and it's greed, but it's like people don't support you. I had a conversation a while back with my daughter, and she was like, "Mama, just because I don't wear this and I don't wear that, I feel like people don't want to be my friends, and people don't." It's like being in that crowd, if I must say, um, being in the I am a who's who aspect part of, and I had to tell her, I said, Soraya, it doesn't matter what, and that's what helped me fit really help myself to understand that I got a problem, that I had a problem. And I told her it's not what you got that make you that defines your character and that defines you. It's what you have within. And so that's when I realized, I got my own gifts, and but I have this, like I say, procrastination issue. And it goes without saying what holds me back only because I'm thinking I need this and I need that. I need to strategize with this and I need that and I need this. And really, I don't. Really, it's in me. It's in my belly. He gave it to me. And so it's like telling God, it was like a slap in the face to him for me. And I was telling her, I said, you can be Soraya. And because you are Soraya. I named you Soraya because it's a meaning behind it. And you don't have to have just for people to like you and support you and to do for you. And I realized that's one of the issues that I was having. I felt like if I come out with another book, is people really gonna support me because now I'm lowball, or is it what I look at as myself that I'm fighting? And I was telling her, if you look at yourself as low, that's what you basically gonna get. You're gonna feel low. And so success for me is one.
Before you go there, how old is Soraya?
9.
9. So Soraya is 9, and she's dealing with something that 9-year-olds typically deal with. It's okay. But there are people who are in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s who are still dealing with exactly what she's dealing with. And the issue with that is people don't realize that you literally define, so like you define your world, you define everything. So just because, certain words are like success. Well, I'm successful. So what does that mean? Because you can say you're successful, but the way I look at success, I can be like, you're a failure. Or you could say that you're a failure. And the way I look at success, I'd be like, no, you're pretty successful. I'm an achiever. What does that look like? That's it's kind of subject to the person who's saying it. So for me to say I'm an achiever, somebody else could say, no, you're not. Um, so that's something that I think a lot of people, especially adults, it's good to learn it when you're young, but adults need to get who haven't gotten it. You literally define success. You literally define, you don't have to dress like everybody else unless that's what you want to do. The reason
Right.
that you think that you have to wear the name brand is because you have made the decision that you got to wear the name brand. Like literally, nobody told you had to wear the name brands. Nobody told you had to live in the biggest house. Nobody told you had to drive the fanciest cars. You came up with that on your own. Of course, it probably was influenced with what we see on social media, what we see other people have, but at the end of the day, we define our own lives, and nobody can tell us if we're successful or not. Because I have a friend, really sure, I have a friend who I forgot we were talking about. This was years ago, and we were talking about something, and I said, oh, it was something. He has a skill. Okay, so he has a skill, and I was like, oh, you can like really use that skill and like start a class or something. You can do something and make a lot of money off of it. He was like, I don't want to make a lot of money. And I was like, oh, okay. And I thought he was talking about just for that skill. And then a few months later, something else. And I was like, oh, you should really like hone into this other thing that he had going on. He was like, no, I don't want to make a lot of money. And I was like, okay, so wait, do you not want to make a lot of money with this? Or do you want, he lives a life where he just doesn't want to have, he doesn't want to be a millionaire. I thought everybody wanted to be a millionaire. That was my lesson, that not everybody wants to be a millionaire. So he could have $10,000 extra in the bank. And to him, he's living a wealthy life. But to some other people, $10,000 extra. What can I do with
That
that?
ain't nothing.
You know, so we define our own life. That's all I wanted to say. A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that. And I had to be real with myself as far as um what I'm allowing her to see. And I think one of the things that we as um parents, and I know you ain't a parent yet,
Hey,
and hopefully he'll be one very soon within the next 5 years, because a girl will be 50 almost, sitting up here trying to rock a niece or a nephew. But
ain't
we
gonna
gonna leave
kill
that
you.
alone.
Oh, I'm just playing.
Joshua probably gonna be to burn up every patient. I
But I'm
bind it.
telling
Let
you,
me bind that. But um, I feel like we when you say success and money, when I say success and money, that it reflected on her, and it also reflected on me as a mother, because what we teaching our kids in these days and time as money shouldn't make you successful. It's what's within you that makes you successful. So now I'm having to go back, reevaluate myself so I can prepare her for her next lesson in life. And that's, you don't have to have this and that to be successful. She's already in it. But I feel like as she grows older, gets into junior high school, it's gonna be a lot of pressure there. Because nowadays these kids feel like they got to keep up with every Jones, and it's everything they want and everything they feel like they need in order for people to like them, in order to feel like they're in the in crowd. And so I realized that I got to do something by me first so I can help my daughter.
Yeah, because it's not gonna be a lot of pressure there if you raise her now to where she
Yeah,
don't care about that. Because I
yeah.
don't want, I don't like to generalize stuff, and I'm careful of the words that I use. And when people are around me, I'm quick to correct them. And you did say it's going to be a lot of pressure on her, so you spoke that over her. So now there's going to be a lot of pressure over her because you said
I
it.
bind it in Jesus' name. I
And
bind it. It's not going to be a lot of pressure. It's not going to be a lot of pressure. It's probably going to feel like it for me, which it ain't a lot of pressure for me neither. But I got to, as a person, as a mother, as a woman, a Black African American woman, as a leader that I am, and I know I am, I have to change the dynamic of the money and success situation, because you can have, and then I'm looking at like so many people that's millionaires and people, and they miserable.
yeah, because I was just about to say some of the most humble people that I know and have met, some of the nicest people that I know and have met, some of the happiest people that I know and have met don't come from a lot. And so a
No.
lot of people feel like you have to, give a lot, do a lot, expose them to a lot. But yeah, a lot of them are not all of them. Not all of them are prideful. Not all of them are, whatever. But I think it just all depends. Me speaking from somebody who don't have children, how you raise them and their perspective. Perspective is big with me. Um, yeah, yeah, that's all I got for right there. I got some more, but I don't feel like
You don't feel like it?
no,
I think you can take a step,
no, just go ahead.
but you just go ahead. Okay, I'm just go ahead. So we do this, y'all. Just don't mind us. We just had this type of relationship. So um now that I have came to that conclusion, that's been one of my top prayers of many, to humble me, to be more grateful, because I also thought about, am I really being ungrateful when I say things like that? Is it a slap in the face to God when I do things like that? So I'm trying to ask him to help me humble myself, which I feel like I'm humble, but it's like it's in my mind. I had to work it out in my mind, that my mind has been on certain things that it don't even matter. And so I, just speaking from experience, just now realize that, as I'm raising her and the rest of the kids as well, to teach them the value of self, value of um, gifts within you. Because I also told her, I was like, just because you have money, you wear this and you wear this, that doesn't make you successful. Just because, and sometimes being in the in crowd ain't everything. And it really ain't. It's really stressful because you got to keep that which what word I want to use. You got to keep that look up. And not all the time that's a good look. You also want to be able to let people see the sensitive side of you at some point, not for your weakness, but to say that you are human. And so the reason for this conversation is I just want to help somebody that's out there that's thinking that they can't do it, that they need this and they need that. You have it with you. I mean, he has given you gifts and he has given you everything that you need to be successful. But It ain't got to do with money.
So that's easy to say.
It
That's
is.
easy to say, but how can people go into that mindset? Because you never know. So you could be having somebody who's listening who literally has nothing. So
And you
we, how do you go into? How do you go inward instead of?
first I had to I literally when I go into prayer now about it, and when I say humbling myself, you got to know who you are. And I think that's where I was off a little bit because I started to question, who am I as a person? Who am I as, but I'm a daughter of the most high. If he got it, I got it. And so I think it's more so is self-confidence, feeling insecure within myself, that had me battling it for a while. And now I have to strategize. I have to speak over myself. I have to speak over my gifts. I have to speak over my hands. I have to speak over the things that he has given me to do and not hesitate on it. Everybody know of well, some people may not know that I write books. I love to write. And one of the biggest things is I've been working on this book for 2 years. Has it been, Reggie? Correct me if I'm wrong. It feel like almost 2 years that I've been trying to come out with this book, and it's been hesitant because I want it to be perfect. And it's not so much as the perfection of it. It's just I wanted to hit on different avenues of it. But what if what I have done is enough? And that's a bullet point that I had to give myself. Okay. Sometimes you can overdo it. It's not what you have or what you can do. It sometimes some things are just enough.
I think
And
that something
so,
people need to get a mirror and look at themselves and say, "What if what I have is enough?"
oh, that's a
That's
word. I
something.
felt that. I
That's
know it
something.
that yeah. And so, but that's what I felt. What if what I have done and what if what I got is enough? And sometimes we push ourselves to this pedestal when God is saying, no, you there. You right where I need you to be. You right where I need you to be effective. You right where I need you to be mentally, physically, and everything. It's you that want all this. But you got it. But it's you that, you ain't humble. And so I just wanted to come on today and just discuss that today about just ask God to humble you and use what you got inward to be successful. Just because you don't have it, I have been to the point where I ain't had a penny to my name, a penny, a quarter, nickel, dime. All I had was lint. You hear me, Reggie? Lint, literally lint. I pull out lint, and that was the most peaceful part of my life. It got me at some point in time, stress wise, but I found myself more peaceful not having all that entanglement with the money.
Because I think people don't, and maybe because I just wrote some down, and maybe this is where it's going to tie in that because people look at like the money that they want or the house that they want, the business that they want, the career that they want, and all that. But a lot of people don't take everything into accountability. They don't take everything. They don't really fully think about um, what comes with this. So, I have somebody who makes a lot of money, who is a friend of mine, who talks about how they went from making, like the average amount of money to making a lot of money. And they were like, I ended up having to pay for a CPA. Like I didn't think that I was going to have to do that. I ended up having to pay to I ended up having to pay what it say. Oh, more taxes. That's what it was. They had to pay more tax, so they have to pay like six figures in taxes. And they're like, I never thought that I have to do that. So a lot of the times we don't take into account number one what all comes with having what we want. You know,
Mm,
people, if you riding around in a Nissan Altima right now, and you say you want a Mercedes Benz or something. So first of all, Nissan Altima, the tires might be under $100. For Mercedes,
That
the tires
part.
might be over 300.
That
For
part.
Nissan Altima, you can use what is it, 97 gas, and then the other one,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's 93, no, 87 and 93. Nissan 97, you're gonna have to get 83 gas for that Mercedes. So we're looking at gas prices right now. You're gonna be spending 30, 40, 50 more cents on the gallon for your gas. Your tune up, you probably can just go right up the street for a tune up and get it tuned up for $60, $70 with your Nissan. With your Mercedes, it might cost you well over $100, $200, and you might have to drive off to the dealership, or to the factory or whatever. So we don't really take into account all that comes with what we want. So when we get what we want, it's good that we've gotten it. Yay, I got what I wanted. Yay, I've reached where I wanted to reach. But what is all this other stuff that I'm seeing around me? What is all this?
Yes.
It was already there. Everybody else is already dealing with it. You just didn't prepare well. You just didn't research well. And you were just looking at the end result and you wanted to get the end result. But with the end result came some stuff you didn't think about before. Another thing that I don't think that people do well is having, it's a word that I use all the time. I say, I don't have this. What don't I have? Dang, I can't think of it. Delayed gratification. Delayed gratification. Like when I get an idea with somebody, like I want to tell them right then. I don't want to wait. Um, when I want something, I want it right then. I don't want to wait. Right? I'm working on it. Huh? So a lot of people don't have a lot of delayed gratification. So you don't take into account, like you see the end result, but you don't look at,
What
people
it's
have
gonna
to go
take.
through steps. Yeah, there's a middle part. You see your now, you see where you want to be, but there's a lot of middle there. And a lot of
A
people don't
lot of
understand
levels.
that middle, if you skip over it, because a lot of people do stuff to skip over it. If you skip over it, you'll be ill prepared at the end. But if you go throughout that middle, whatever that middle brings about, it'll prepare you for the end, and you'll be better off when you get there. And then you'll do better. You would do better, and you would appreciate it more, because I think that
Yeah.
the middle for a lot of people breaks pride. The middle for a lot of people breaks greed. The middle for a lot of people brings deliverance. And the middle for a lot of people is necessary before you get to the end. So if you skip the middle, you get to the end, you don't have what you need inwardly.
Preaching, y'all. He
But if you
preaching.
go through the middle, you'll get what you need before you
He
get to the end. So you can hold on to what's at the end. Because if you skip the middle, you might lose what you wanted at the end.
that's a word. That's a word from on high right there, y'all.
Absolutely.
That was a that that was some good nuggets. Eh, That was good, Reggie. That was really good. And so with that being said, don't skip the middle part. And my grandma used to always say, to every new level, there is a new devil.
Can I say that I don't agree with your grandmama?
Yeah, you can say that.
I don't agree with her grandmama. Again,
Rest in peace, grandma, and don't harm him in his sleep, because that ain't of God
you
neither.
can't come up in here, grandmama, because I got the Holy Ghost. I'll send you back to where you came from. Don't play. All due respect to her grandmama. God rest her soul. But you have what you say, and we hear that so much in the Bible, but I don't think I've said, I ain't never seen it in the Bible. Now, it might be in there. We've heard it so much in the church, I meant to say, not in the Bible, because it ain't in the Bible. Not that I have seen. Um, and we see that because we've spoken it. So a lot of the times when people elevate, you literally say it. And when you elevate now, because you've said it or because you've heard it, you're looking for these new devils. Where these new I've had people in my family, I've had people in my churches, I've had people everywhere say it. But think about it. It ain't in the Bible. When you say it, you put it in your mind. So now that it's in your mind, now that I got the promotion, this is why I'm careful who I talk to, and this is why I'm careful who I let speak to me. Because if you get a promotion on your job, if you say I'm up for a promotion, somebody might say, "You already know them coworkers gonna be mad." So now when you get the promotion, now you
You're
walking in
gonna be
there
looking into it.
looking. I bet they're gonna be looking at me funny. I bet they're gonna roll their eyes. She didn't speak how she, but she didn't speak how she normally do this morning because she probably got something going on at home. Ain't got nothing to do with you. Now you feel like that's a new devil. No, boo, you just delusional. And I think that comes with a lot of pride too. I think that's rooted in pride. I think it's rooted in stupidity too. I'm sorry. Don't say it.
Yeah, you say nah, boo.
Don't say it. Don't expect it. Why would new devils come when God gives the new levels? Literally, like
Mm,
why would the
mm,
fire get hotter from the devil when God is
mm.
the one who did it? If you are still one who's going around saying it, please repent for saying it. Renounce exactly what you said, and I bet you will stop seeing some of them new devils that you've been seeing. You invited the devil in when you said it.
Come
Um,
on now.
that's all I have to say about that.
Oh, we went through that fire right there and we came out not smelling like that smoke.
It doesn't smell like smoke at all.
Not at all. So Reggie, I really appreciate you for coming on and helping me with this podcast because that right there, you dropping bam, bam, bam. He's shooting, shooting. We no violence. We are not violent people unless somebody make us. But but with that being said,
Can I say one more thing?
choice of words. From what I just heard and what just fell in me is choice of words. Be mindful because we do. We always go back to uh what you speak, and that's why I said now I have to renounce, like you said, renounce. Ask God for forgiveness, repent for certain things that I have said about myself, and realize who I am, who He created for me to be. Go ahead, Rich.
And then the thing is, so I wrote this down when you like very first started talking. A lot of the times we struggle with so you feel like a failure and you feel depressed and all that stuff when you start to lose things or when you don't have what you think you should have or when you're not getting what you think because a lot of times we leave our first love, which is Jesus Christ. It should have been, huh? And when we get our focus off of doing for God, and when we get our focus off of making the kingdom better, when we get
Yeah,
our focus off of Christ, that is when we start focusing on I should have this. Why don't I have that? And that's
right.
when all of those insecurities creep in, all of those worries creep in, all of those doubts creep in. So if people just go back to focusing on Christ, it's really your focus. What are you focused on? And if you focus on the wrong thing, then of course you're gonna find flaws. When you focus on the right thing, then everything else will come.
Oh, he just shot me, y'all, because I felt like I said, I told y'all from the beginning, your girl been struggling. And I hadn't. I told y'all that, but I'm coming back.
So we can make up struggles. Do you know? I remember one time I had to pay a bill, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, I don't have the money for this bill," and I literally would not check my bank account. And I said, "I don't have the money for this bill. I cannot pay this, but I don't." And then I think I went through that for like a week, and I opened up my bank account, and like the
Eh,
money was there for the bill 2, 3 times over, and I was like, "Wait a minute, let me." Scroll down to see that some money just appeared. No, the money was literally always there. I
always
just
there.
created the struggle myself. And a lot of times we create our own struggles. So you're struggling
Mm.
and you're just all disheveled and stuff because you want to be, really. It's not because you have to be.
So, with that being said, choose your words wisely.
Please,
Change your mind frame.
please.
Speak life over yourself. Believe in yourself. And heal the little child in yourself because those old time ways are really causing some chaos to us in the future because of what we've been
Yo,
taught.
yo, folks been
Correction.
out.
We need some spirit of corrections around here. And you can't
Speaking
just
on the Bible, not on a phrase that somebody made up
yeah,
years ago.
yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah,
talking
yeah.
about that. Y'all just running with it. But
Yeah, just
you got a
ran
person
with it.
like me, because I don't care. I
Yeah,
don't care. I help
that's
you
why
out.
he on.
Hey,
That's why I always call on Reggie. Reggie, help your girl, cause he gonna get me on together.
real thing.
Correction. Mm-mm-mm. But I just want to thank y'all. Thank you, Reggie, for being on. And like I said before, and like he said, really, I say humble. He said it exactly how I needed to be. Put God first, put the Lord first, and everything else will work out for your good. So with that being said, thank you for tuning in to The Awaken. See you next time. Bye, Reggie.
I can't remember your music, so I'm just saying that for now.